Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Cam and Joe Show. My name is Joe Steele with my good friend Cameron Elkins.
Whoop, whoop. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, this is episode number 7.
I did this to say okay, not to say that it's 3.
I was like, Joe, if you're listening to this and not watching this, Joe held up a 3 and he was completely trying to confuse me.
So,
goodness, some people. You know?
So, if you listen to it, like, subscribe, hit that bell button. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're following it on any other place on Spotify, go ahead and listen to that. Leave us a review. It helps us out. We are sitting with an incredible woman named Marnie Sanders. She is amazing. I first met her when we first opened the coffee shop. Yeah. She was working for the Chamber. And yeah, we actually did a podcast originally with her.
Yep.
Total snitch on myself. We did 3 podcasts and then they should have gone live. And then my health went stupid. And then now I'm like, hey.
Now we revamped it, rebranded, and recreated this thing.
Hey, would you forgive us enough to come back? And she's like, I guess. I have 30 minutes on Friday. Get to it.
Get to it. Got to be enough about 10. We're like, A, we appreciate the sass. B, we'll see you on Friday. Okay, we'll take it. Now, if standpoint, local to Northern California, Yuba, Southern County, I love me some Marnie. If you, what I love probably most about Marnie is her heart.
Yes.
If you know her heart for the community is incredible. But B, her connectivity. I do not know, and I mean this when I say this. I do not know another individual in this area that is more plugged in and connected.
Oh, for sure.
And when I say plugged in and connected, when you match that with her selflessness, and her lack of pride.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes for an incredible woman. So I love you. I'm a big friend of yours. I love your story. And for those who don't know you yet, today is all about you. I want people to get to know
Marnie,
even a fraction of you, because I know that that's going to bless them.
Wow. Now I'm speechless. This is pretty horrible.
Well, that's the quickest podcast ever. She's speechless. Catch us next week.
And my heart's, beating a little bit faster. That was, wow. Such kind words. I know a lot of people who are a lot more connected, including you there, Cam.
See, she's saying she's connected so much, she knows other people that are more connected. That's pretty connected.
That's pretty connected. That is pretty connected. Let's be transparent.
I can name a few who are, but those are the people that I shadowed, and people that I look up to in the community, and I want to be more like, and here we are.
Absolutely.
And it's when I started at the Chamber, that's really where I started connecting. And but before that, I hardly knew anybody, and I grew up in this area.
Really?
And I moved away, and then when I came back, I had 3 friends.
What year did you guys come back to this area?
Back in 2014 in February, so it'll be almost 10 years.
And then you joined the Chamber when?
That would have been 2017 or 18. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So and from there, gosh, that just piloted you into tell us and tell the listeners about what your job was with Chamber. I mean, because obviously as soon as you start to detail it, people are like, that is why this woman is so connected, right?
Yeah.
And then I obviously I literally pulled out a blue shirt this morning for Blue Zones. I want to talk all about Blue Zones, and it looks like it's just me. Everybody else is wearing black in here like it's a funeral.
Hey, my underwear's blue.
There you go. Prove it. Wait, what?
If you're listening,
chat about your time with the Chamber, and then I want to segue into what you're doing now.
Yeah. That Chamber job just fell into my lap. It was truly, it was a blessing for me, 100% a blessing for me. I had just gone through a pretty significant life change, and I was living in Minnesota, and I just said, I've got to get back home. And so I came back to the area, and, and I floundered around for several years, and I was doing odd jobs. My background is in nonprofit fundraising. I had professional positions, working in the nonprofit sector. And when I came back, again, I was lost. I was really lost in my life. And so again, odd jobs. And I actually, one of those odd jobs was at the Appeal Democrat selling advertising. Bless the Appeal Democrat,
for sure,
selling advertising. Oh my gosh.
Selling advertising in general.
It was not for me. Let's just leave it at that.
Sure.
It was not for me, but it got me connected to the Chamber of Commerce. They were members.
Yep.
And then I became an ambassador. Ooh, I just sounded like I was from the Midwest.
Yeah. Ambassador. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
What just happened?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Let's move forward,
Oh my gosh. A position came open at the chamber for the membership director position, and I got that job. And then several months later, the CEO left, and a couple months later, the board asked me to step into that position. I was a deer in headlights.
Yep.
A deer in headlights.
But you said yes.
But I said yes. And
the magic is saying yes.
Say yes.
Say yes
if
and
you're
figure
afraid,
it out.
Say yes.
Yep.
Just
that's right.
do it.
That's right.
You won't regret it.
Yep.
You won't regret it. And I don't regret it because that was the catalyst that just opened up my life, my world, and gave me purpose. And there's so many people that I have to thank for giving me that chance, including the board of directors at the time. And there were several women on the board that took me under their wing and really nurtured me along. And it was just incredible to see that happen. And how can I not try to give back after that was so freely given to me, that blessing?
Absolutely.
And so that's what I want to do now with what I've been given. I mean, I don't know, luck, timing, just an incredible blessing, but I did not take advantage of that. And here I am today. But being at the Chamber of Commerce, obviously, the organization supports the business community. Yeah. Well, there's individuals running those businesses, and you just connect.
It's people.
With people all the time. It's all about people building relationships, and I built a lot of relationships there, not just business relationships. A lot of those relationships are good friends now, and after 6-7 years at the chamber, I've taken a lot of those friends and relationships with me into my new position with Blue Zone's Project Yuba Sutter. But I'm telling you, if you want to get to know the community, get connected with the Chamber of Commerce. If 100%. there's nothing else that they would ever do, the networking piece of it can be really incredible, especially for small businesses, entrepreneurs looking to get connected in the community.
Absolutely.
It was incredible for me.
I think the only thing that you said so far that I have a hard time with is you saying that you're lucky, because it was not luck. You were built and designed for that position. Yeah. And those years, that was for you. Yep. And there was years of hard work behind the scenes, both here as well as in Minnesota, that led to job history and experience that helped you land it. So, well,
it is true. But there's this quote, and I usually annihilate quotes.
It's okay.
So
we actually like to do that on this podcast, and then I'll go back and I'll listen to me talking on the podcast, and I'm like, and then I'll look up the quote. I'm like, ooh,
roughly interpreted.
Exactly. This is my spin on. There you go. And then you can say anything. This is my spin on this. Boom.
It's now an original.
Now it's now an original. It's remastered, rebranded by Marnie today.
But it's that God does not choose the equipped. He equips those he's chosen.
Yes.
And absolutely. I feel that in my heart. I was not necessarily equipped for that position at the time, but I just had to trust and be humble. Yeah. And be willing to learn and be willing to make a whole heck of a lot of mistakes.
I understand that.
And say yes, because saying yes is stepping out in faith. We talked on that same topic of the importance of saying yes with Diego Hernandez,
Tyler
and Brandon. Like
it's the consistent trend.
We're starting to see a consistent trend of the magic is in the despite everything else that's going on, and I have 1,000 reasons to say no, and to not move forward in fear, but the magic in saying yes and allowing God to call it what you will, God or the universe, or whatever.
Sure.
I'm good
to allow that.
Me too.
Same. But to those who are not, to allow that positive momentum to take you to new heights that you wouldn't have thought otherwise.
Well, and then what I also noticed was the kindness element, right? There was, you didn't know anything. You came back, and then you said there was a group of women that were like, hey, we're going to show you the ropes. We're going to go through that. And we always forget the amount of kindness and how big of a reaction it has. Because if they wouldn't have been kind to you, that would have stopped you from doing all of what you're doing.
100%.
We are, we are what we create around us. And if we can't create that kindness, our whole civilization does that collapse. Right. And that's why I think what you do is so important, because you do bring an amount of kindness anywhere that you go
100%.
And an amount of grace in any situation that creates more people wanting to help.
Yeah.
You've probably experienced the person that's a begrudged person. I don't get yada, yada, yada. And you'll sit there and you'll talk with them and you'll find out there was an unkindness that happened. And they are resonating in that. And until it's resolved, normally it's them having to resolve it. Right. But until it's resolved, they will not be kind. And they're limiting their impact to the whole world simply by acting that way.
Yep.
And so, I think that's a super important thing, to be just the act of being kind for one moment. Those women being kind to you and impacting you, and how you've impacted others with your kindness. Right. You're not going to get to see that fruit for an amount of time. Right. Like one of my favorite movies, Mr. Holland's Opus. Yeah. Right? I'm going to eventually play this concert. I'm going to do it. And at the end of it, it was all the people he taught along the way that played his opus.
Gives me chills.
Yeah.
I cry every time I watch that movie. Yeah. It's not a Super Bowl commercial, but
I'm going to cry anyway.
Oh, bro. Absolutely.
No, shout out. That's a great movie.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just, just to go into what you're saying, I can see that. And I can see that you have that about you as well. Wow. And that there is that amount of kindness you bring.
I appreciate that.
And not only that, it's gravity. Some people just have that gravity. Like if you were ever a fly on a wall and you watch Marnie walk into a room, everybody's just like...
If you're listening to this, Marnie is a very fit person. He did not mean gravity. Gravity could be taken in a nice way. I'm like, hey, be nice to her. She's just got... gravity.
And she walked out, and she's running, and she's running, and she's
the barn.
I wasn't even gonna say it. Wasn't even gonna say the barn. And then now that it's on the podcast, people are gonna say the barn.
The fly on the wall, looking at the gravity.
Anyway,
like, wow, tonality
to bring us back. Marnie has this incredible amount of, I'm going to use the term again, quiet, gravity. From a situational gravity, people just want to be a part of what you're up to. Yeah. And people want to know. Like I love that about you. Anytime, and we're also, we both serve with the Salvation Army on the advisory board. Anytime Major Julius gives me any task. Yeah. Like I feel like it's you and I in high school again. It's like somebody like asked me to do anything. I just look over at Joe. I'm like, we're good. And Joe's like, yes, man, I got you.
Yeah.
We need those people, right? And I need people like Marty in my life, because as soon as there's like hey, Cam, you're going to run this, and this, and that. I'm just like, all right, well, let me remind you, I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-month-old. And I'm going to need some people. And I look over at Marnie, and she like gives me a thumbs up. I'm like, yeah, we got this. We got this, because Marnie's got this, and I'll just do my best to kind of, help how I can. So, but yeah, your connectivity, your gravity is magic.
Gravity. I love that word.
Gravity.
So much gravity to the word gravity right now. Blue.
But I'm kind of levitating right now because of all of this.
It's perfect. Marnie's head's getting so big, we're actually going to have to reframe the door. We're going to have to get her through the double doors at the front of GT.
I'm going to need a severe humbling experience after this.
Exactly. Don't speak that into the universe.
It's the holiday season.
We'll be watching on your Facebook. Something's happening now. You said it.
So, Blue Zone. So you went through, that was your journey. For people who don't know what Blue Zones is, give us some insight on what that is. So,
I can give you the stairwell speech. The elevator speech.
Oh, I like
stairwell
that.
Speech.
I like that because you ought to be moving.
You take the stairs and not the elevator.
Boom.
That's good. Maybe I should take the stairs more.
I like that.
All right,
that's a start. That's a start.
I've done my own digging into Blue Zones. I'm starting to read through a book that very much aligns with Blue Zones, Ikigai. as well as having watched the amazing Netflix docuseries, which Hannah was like, "Oh, what is this about?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, and we watched it over the 4 episodes of the course of 2 nights."
What's the name of it for those?
Live to be 100, The Secret of the Blue Zones, and it's on Netflix. And if you haven't seen it, it is really spectacular.
It's actually on my list, by the way.
Great.
I'm a docu-nut. So
there you go.
Yeah,
it ought to be.
I think you'll love it.
Cool.
Love it.
But for those in general who do not know what Blue Zones is all about, give them the
Blue Zones.
What do we got?
Okay, Blue Zones are areas around the world where people are 3 times more likely to live to be 100 years or more. So there's a lot of longevity going on in these areas. The Blue Zones are in Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Costa Rica. We actually have a Blue Zone here in California, and it's Loma Linda.
Yep.
The reason for that is there is a high population of Seventh-day Adventists, and they generally live very healthy lives.
Yeah.
They're vegetarian for the most part. Sabbath is really important to them. They take time to spend
rest.
Yep, rest. Spend time with family, connection. Those are all elements and principles of our Blue Zones, what we call the Power 9. So these areas around the world where people are living longer, not just living longer, but living better, happier,
active,
less stress.
Yeah.
And it's all built into their environment. It comes natural. And so researchers studied these areas, and they found 9 common habits in those areas, and those are what we call in Blue Zones the Power 9 principles. And so we're basically trying to impart what those principles are in our community, which includes, like I was talking about, connection with family, plant slant, so eating more fruits and vegetables, purpose. I talked about sense of purpose. Like if you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to whatever it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
You're doing things right. Connection to community, family first. We've gotten so disconnected from our families and what's important. And so it's just, for me, when I look at some of these principles, I think this is how we used to live. It's like, let's get back to how we used to live, where, everybody sat at the dinner table together at night, we had a conversation, the TV wasn't going. You get out, you take a walk. We're moving more naturally.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're going to the gym every day or, lifting weights, or it just means you're moving. You're getting
active.
Up and
you're moving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to impart those. We work in 3 spaces: people, places, and policy. Policy, we work within built environment. So that's, walkability, bikeability.
Yeah.
So we're working with our jurisdictions around initiatives that help to create an environment where people can get out and move more easily around the community. We're not a biking community, really, and
not yet.
No, not yet. But we can create that environment, and so that's what we're here to do. We're here to help change the environment where the healthy choice becomes the easier choice.
Sure.
And again, the key word is choice.
Yeah.
You have a choice.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
can go to Burger King if you want, but then next door, there's a great, fantastic restaurant with some plant-based options.
Sure.
And a mom and pop shop
Yep.
in that to be able to support them and help keep that family in business locally.
Absolutely. We work within tobacco. Obviously, we want to see a reduction, elimination. Would be amazing. Of tobacco use, and then we work within food policy. So that's really creating a space where healthy produce is available for all.
Yeah.
And then it goes much deeper into that. All the policy stuff gets pretty heavy.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
And then people and places. We work in schools, restaurants, grocery store, work sites to help them become Blue Zones approved. And again, it's bringing awareness and helping people to reframe their work environments and structures to create healthier spaces. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
by the way,
it's amazing.
that was an incredible, what do we call it?
Stairwell
Speech.
Yeah.
I love that.
Get off the elevator, Cameron.
From a business, like let's just take for sake of conversation, Steelhouse Coffee. If Steelhouse Coffee wanted to become, or if any business owners that are listening or watching this want to become Blue Zones approved, like Clark Ave. I believe Clark Ave Coffee
Bridge
has.
Coffee.
Bridge Coffee has.
Blue Zones.
New Earth has a couple others. So
Hopefully
what
New Earth has.
what is that? Right.
Yeah, they were. They were.
I can imagine that New Earth would be the pilot.
They were like our very first Blue Zones approved.
Did you walk in, look to the left and right, and check the box?
Yeah.
Like, here's your plaque.
Yeah, you guys are good.
They're like, yeah, we have everything for healthy lifestyle. You're like, all right, well,
Check.
thank you for being part of it.
And a bomb salad bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
They've actually created some end caps. I haven't been in a bit, but end caps that incorporate some of the Blue Zones.
Awesome.
Educational resource pieces.
Awesome.
So, but yes, to your question, so we'll go into Steelhouse.
Yeah.
And we'll take a look at your menu and see what kinds of plant-based options that you might have.
Yeah.
And I've already said to Regina, you guys are practically there.
Yeah. No,
You're practically there.
And their avocado toast is top notch.
Yeah. Avocado toast. It's really just, it's simple things like don't have salt on the table. Yeah. You'll have to ask for the salt.
Yeah.
You'll have to ask for the bread or the chips.
Sure.
Working with the employees of the business to help them understand what Blue Zones is all about. So if you are a restaurant, the wait staff will be able to ask questions like, would you like a to-go box when they deliver the meal? To sink it into people's heads. Because we get these portion sizes.
Oh, that are huge.
That's super smart.
Yeah. And so it gets people to think, oh, yeah, I guess I could eat a little bit less. One of the Power 9 principles is the 80-20 rule, or harahachibu, which is a Okinawan term for eat only until you're about 80%.
Yeah. Yeah. To not be just sitting there like,
Well, it's comfortable. It's way more comfortable.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're coming out of Thanksgiving and we've all just been gluttonous for the last 2 weeks.
You know, I didn't eat any stuffing, so I feel okay.
we had the
Yeah. But and then it is offering smaller portion sizes and not charging for that.
Sure.
It's just steering people in a way where they can choose healthier options. And a lot of times when we're working with restaurants, they have all of the elements, and sometimes it's maybe shifting something here or there.
Or just educating the staff on how to lead out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, with Bridge, I can say, we just had a conversation with Tim recently, and he can see there's been an uptick in some of the sales of some items that they've added that are, their Blue Zones approved items. And so that's great too.
Yeah.
And as a consumer, I often choose not to eat out because I think, well, I get it. I don't have a healthy option, and I just don't want to. I just don't want to go there. So if I know that, hey, I can go to Steelhouse and, get the avocado toast and it's healthy. It's just a perfect thing to eat. Or the cams. I don't know.
The cam sandwich.
Do you have meat on that?
There's no D.
We do. We do have double the protein on the cam sandwich. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, beans. You throw some beans in there.
There you go. Get a little black bean, double the protein.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, I think of when I think of breakfast and beans, I think of Britain, where their beans are cold. That's a staple. Cold beans with their meal.
Well, little side note.
Well, thank you for the Revolutionary War, because no to cold beans.
Collecting peanut butter is a lot more popular than collecting dried beans.
Yeah, no,
I'm
true.
just saying.
It's very.
We've been collecting food for So You Can, and I'm like, people, we need dried beans. And Cam's over here doing the peanut butter dance.
I've got peanut butter out the ears. Okay. Quick.
I'm taking peanut butter next year.
Quick shout out. Nope. I'm now the peanut butter man. This is my third year on peanut butter. Don't touch it. We counted up yesterday. One of our production assistants, Rachel, and I had to step out of office for a second. She was like, "Do you need me to count peanut butter?" I was like, "Oh my God, if you could start, that'd be incredible." I came back and she's had this look on her face, just like, I was like, "Did we hit our goal?" She's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, because we're trying to get 400 tubs of peanut butter. As of yesterday, 633.
You destroyed your
tubs of peanut butter. I'm like, I'm just going to store this for next year. Then I'll be halfway to my goal. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I believe Angie has added families.
Okay, good. We're ready.
I think
from a peanut butter front, we are ready.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to donate 600 jars of jelly so that the sandwiches can be complete.
See, that was Sheree Stevens.
She took care of that.
Oh, well, never mind.
The first 2 days of
never mind.
Yep. I'm the peanut butter to the jam.
Don't listen to me.
Nope.
It's okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so yeah, I agree with you on the portion control and the portion size.
Absolutely.
There was this huge shift that happened. Everyone was health conscious, even if you look at the portions that happened. I'm trying to think what documentary I watched, but it was about marketing campaigns and how there were marketing campaigns that were created to get people to buy more because they weren't used to it. And it was specifically out of World War II.
Yeah.
There were not 3 square meals a day was not the medium. It used to be you ate when you woke up to have energy for working. And then you would work until you needed to eat, and then you would go to bed. And the supper was the only actual meal that people did because it was them sitting together as a family. And that was
kind of snacking your way through the day.
Yeah. So it was sunset. Yep. So like it was a common thing, farmer mentality of, hey, we need to shift this. And so they came up, well, you need to have breakfast. It's a quick break in the morning to eat. It's a break fast, right? Oh, then now you need to have lunch. Oh, then you're going to need your meals in between. And we actually, through marketing to sell more product, have created that.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that worked for Pepsi in Australia. Not just Pepsi, he worked for tons of big firms in Australia. And in Australia, up until the 90s, they would make everything from scratch. The mothers would. And he said, you know how hard it is to sell frozen meals to mothers that want to make everything from scratch? Yeah. It's in their society. He goes, in order for us to combat that, we had to say, we're helping you be a better mom by saving time.
Yeah, freeing up your time.
And so this is where it's interesting when you're talking about partnering with businesses. People may be thinking, well, you don't need to partner with businesses in policy. Yes, you do. Because if you go with the marketing of how America works now, it's got to be bigger. It's got to be the largest thing. I mean, one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube is competitive eating. It's bad. And I'm like,
everyone has their secrets, Joe, and Joe's is out.
How did he eat all that? He's British, so it's better.
Yep, there you go.
So he's like, oh, I think I'm full. I'm like, yeah, you are. But I think it's important for people to know that, like, a lot of the terms and things that we do literally were used for marketing. They were not an actual healthy thing. Nutritionalists will tell you the same thing. They're like, hey, eat little snacks throughout the day and then do one big meal. Yeah. And if you're doing a big meal, don't eat till you're packed. Make sure there's some protein and make sure there's some vegetables in there and some fruit to help you digest. That is consistently happening. And a lot of the places that you mentioned that are blue zones naturally are people in places that are a lot more laid back. They understand, I want to live a long life because I want to spend time with my family. I want to be
not go.
It's not go.
Well, when you watch the docuseries, you'll start to learn that these blue zones are shrinking, and it's due to the marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's really
culture and society. I mean, because you're going to start to
buy into this. That we don't need all of this. Yeah, it's just,
which is counterculture. I mean, that you have to combat it by realizing, first off, they're decreasing in size because everything else is increasing in popularity, right? So you're having to go very much against the grain and be like, and now you're combating marketing, which is in front of everybody at all times.
Sure.
But I think the magic, in my opinion, the magic to blue zones, if you were to melt it down, the connectivity side is huge. And that goes into volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
And that goes into every time there's a group of volunteers anywhere, afterwards they come up and they're like, that felt amazing. When can we do it again? And I'm like, you're starting to get it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome to see, right? So from that connectivity side, from the eating lighter, the
eat wisely.
What was you said lean, was it lean green, like leaning into, what was it?
Plant slant.
Plant slant, lean green. There you go.
Yeah,
there's another one. Lean green, plant slant. Anytime you have the opportunity to, and what's kind of nice, kind of off the cusp, I've taken on recently a couple of personal training clients on the nutritional front. So helping them kind of guide through it, right? Yeah. Kind of scratching that itch from years back when I worked in the fitness industry. And a lot of them, I'm very much having them lean out animal proteins earlier in the day to where by the time they get to dinner, they're down to a mostly vegetarian diet. And some of them, even over the last 5 or 6 weeks, are starting to see, oh my God, I didn't have to take my inflammatory medication. I'm like, you don't say. But I'm like, look at the research behind
Absolutely.
milk, dairy products, and inflammation. They're like, oh my God, I had no idea. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
So there's just ways that you can start to make Blue Zones more a permanent foundation in this area. And that is you being you continuing to lead by example.
Absolutely.
Be as Marnie connected as you know to be. and honestly, you're one of those people where a lot of eyes are on you. So there's pressure there, but you are so very much the right woman for the job.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy that that they chose you for that.
It was a natural move. It really, really was. And just to go back to the connection and the relationship building and the importance of that,
Huge.
It has led me to where I am now.
Sure.
I didn't seek this job out. It came to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, we're in this community. It's kind of a large community, but it's a small community. And we need to realize that our influence and our power that we have. People are watching us all of the time.
Absolutely.
And so it can make a big impact. And so, I was seen for probably the connections I have, and they said, "Oh, she'd be great for the job," and they approached me. But also at the same time, and I've experienced this too, where I've seen people with influence, and it can be abused.
Absolutely.
And that's a shame. And I actually did a post about this. I mean, there's a great responsibility attached to being a leader in the community and having any sort of influence. And those women who influenced me before, they took their positions very seriously, and I learned from them that is very important. And
absolutely,
watch myself, and try to stay humble. I mean, I am human, so I do suffer from pride.
And you do have gravity as much.
I have a lot of gravity.
Stop.
So if people, say someone's listening to this, they're a business owner, they're somebody, they want to figure out Blue Zone in their area, or they want to what's a way they can connect with you or a Blue Zone's entity where they're at?
They can. I would just Google Blue Zones Project Yuba Sutter.
Perfect.
And you can find us. We are also located on Plumas Street.
Perfect.
607 Plumas Street. Stop in. We're out in the community a lot. Tuesday through Thursdays are the best days to find at least somebody in the office. But we would love to, we work with schools, work sites, restaurants, and grocery stores. We would love to work with folks. We also want to connect with just individuals.
Sure.
We do what are called walking moais. Moai is a Japanese term for coming together for a common purpose. So people aren't just getting out. It's not just about the natural movement.
Sure.
It's about, again, connection.
Connectivity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether you're new friends, old friends, that's a lot of fun too. So we'd love to see more of those kinds of things happen in the community. Blue Zone says that this is a community-led initiative, and our project is only here for 5 years. So, we've got work to do in this 5 years.
Momentum to gain, absolutely.
Yes.
Sure.
And so at the end of this project, if we do things correctly and we do it right, which I know we will, we will be a Blue Zone certified community. And the idea is that the community has embraced Blue Zones, and it has been integrated into their lives and where they work, and they're carrying out the Blue Zones principles. And we're already seeing that happen within schools. We've gone in and helped them to organize walk to school programs, and they're doing it on their own now.
Yeah.
And teachers are imparting Blue Zones resources and education to their students without any direction from us. So that's what we want to start seeing more in the community.
Yes, I know that. I know that we have to run, but if you are seeking more information, reach out to Marnie. Follow her on Facebook or Instagram. Google Blue Zones Yuba Sutter.
Yep.
If you're not in this area, just Google Blue Zones in general. If you're more visual, like I am, The docuseries is extremely well produced. Pull that up. Google that. Pull it up on Netflix. It's called, one more time, the docuseries is called what?
The
Secret.
The Secrets. Oh, now I can't even remember.
Oh, gosh. Just Google it. No, I'm kidding.
It's in it, The Secret of 100.
Live to be 100.
Live to be 100.
There you go. Live
The
to be 100.
Secrets of the Blue Zones.
Check that out.
Don't ever put me on the spot. You can't. Ever.
Now I know.
Yeah.
We'll reshoot this whole thing. No, I'm kidding. But check her out. Marnie, we love you. Keep doing what you're doing. You are the best. Thank you so much for making
Thanks
time
for having me,
today.
guys. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Cheers.